Hello, my name is Chris, and this is the nonprofit servant leader profile assignment for the 630 Leadership GCU course. And this presentation examines how Habitat for Humanity puts servant leadership into action. I chose Habitat for Humanity because its work is not limited to just charitable giving. The organization works alongside families, volunteers, donors, businesses, faith communities, and local leaders to address the needs for safe and affordable housing. This partnership-based approach reflects Robert Greenleaf's central idea that a servant leader begins with a desire to serve and then chooses to lead in a way that places the well-being and growth of others first. Throughout this presentation, I will discuss the servant leadership principles demonstrated by Habitat for Humanity, explain how these principles have contributed to measurable organizational and community success, and identify the principles that I would apply within my own organization. Why Habitat for Humanity? Habitat for Humanity is a reputable global nonprofit housing organization which was founded in 1976. Its mission is to bring people together to build homes, communities, and hope, and its vision is a world where everyone has a decent place to live. Habitat also emphasizes dignity, hope, and affordable housing, advocacy, and sustainable community development as guiding organizational principles. Habitat is an excellent example of servant leadership because the organization starts with a basic human need and organizes its leadership resources and partnerships around serving that need. Rather than treating the families as a passive recipients, Habitat works alongside them. Depending on local affiliates, prospective homeowners may complete education, prepare financially, contribute sweat equity, and participate in other parts of the home ownership process. This approach supports responsibility while preserving the dignity of the people being served. Greenleaf explained that the true test of servant leadership is whether the people served become healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, and more likely to serve others. Habitat reflects this standard because its goal is not simply to complete a construction project. Its broader goal is to help families gain sustainability, safety, opportunity, and a stronger foundation for the future. The servant leadership principles most valuable or most visible in Habitat for Humanity are listening, empathy, stewardship, commitment to the growth of people, foresight, and building community. Servant leadership scholarship commonly identifies these people-centered characteristics as essential to leadership that places service before personal power or status. Listening and empathy are demonstrated through Habitat's focus on the real experiences of families and communities facing housing challenges. Inadequate housing can affect health, safety, education, family stress, and economic opportunity. Habitat responds to those connected needs rather than viewing housing as an isolated problem. This shows empathy because the organization recognizes the full human impact of unstable or unaffordable housing. Habitat also demonstrates stewardship by responsibly combining donations, volunteer labor, partnerships, advocacy, financial tools, and local knowledge in support of its mission. The organization builds and repairs homes, supports financial solutions, promotes innovation, and advocates for policies that expand access to affordable housing. Stewardship is evident because resources are treated as public trust that must be used carefully for lasting community benefit. Commitment to growth of people appears in the way Habitat encourages participation in capacity building. Families are not viewed as helpless. They're invited to participate in a process that can include preparation, education, savings, and partnership. Volunteers also grow through service because they gain practical experience, stronger community connections, and greater awareness of housing needs in their area. Habitat therefore serves people while also helping them become more capable and connected. Habitat for Humanity's results show how servant leadership can produce measurable success. Habitat reported that it's helped more than 65 million people since 1976. In fiscal year 2025, for example, the organization helped 3 million people build or improve the place they call home. And an additional 20 million people gained the potential to improve their housing conditions through training and advocacy, and 827,000 people volunteered to help build, advocate, and raise awareness about global need for shelter. These opportunities or outcomes are significant because they demonstrate that servant leadership is not only philosophy. When it becomes part of an organization's structure and culture, it can mobilize large numbers of people around a shared mission. Habitat's success does not depend on one leader receiving credit. It depends on family, volunteers, donors, employees, advocates, and community partners contributing to a common purpose. The purpose impact, or positive impact, I should say, also extends beyond the physical house. Habitat explains that a safe and affordable house can support better health, child safety, development, educational achievement, and economic opportunity. A stable home can reduce family stress, create a better environment for children, help households plan for the future. And by addressing housing in a relational and community-centered way, Habitat produces outcomes that benefit individuals as well as the broader community. This model also creates shared ownership. Families contribute to their progress, volunteers invest their time and labor, donors provide resources, and communities support local solutions. Servant leadership helps Habitat succeed because people are not merely instructed to support the mission, they're invited to participate in it. The servant leadership principles I consider most valuable are serving before leading, commitment to growth of people, stewardship, and building community. These principles are especially relevant in a military or professional organization where rank, authority, deadlines, and mission requirements can sometimes overshadow the needs of people performing the work. The first principle I would integrate is serving before leading. This does not mean lowering standards or avoiding accountability. It means making sure people have the training, tools, guidance, and support required to meet those standards. In Greenleaf, servant first philosophy reminds leaders to begin by asking what their people need to succeed rather than focusing first on personal recognition or positional authority. In my organization, this could include identifying training barriers, clearing, explaining expectations, checking on valuable resources, and removing obstacles before evaluating performance. The second principle is commitment to growth of people. Habitat's model focuses on building capacity rather than dependency. I would apply that principle through coaching, mentoring, upgrade training, meaningful feedback, and developmental opportunities. A strong leader should not only complete today's mission, but also prepare people to accept greater responsibility in the future. The third principle is stewardship. Leaders are responsible for more than equipment or funding. They are responsible for people's time, trust, motivation, and professional development. Practicing stewardship would require me to make thoughtful decisions, communicate honestly, protect resources, and avoid wasting the effort of the team. Finally, I would integrate the principle of building community. Habitat succeed because people from different backgrounds work together in a shared purpose. Within my own organization, I would strengthen community by engaging or encouraging collaboration, recognizing contributions, creating opportunities for teams to participate in decision making, and connecting routine tasks to larger mission at hand. People are more likely to remain engaged when they feel they belong to the work that matters. In conclusion, Habitat for Humanity is a strong example of a nonprofit organization that practices servant leadership through service, partnership, stewardship, personal growth, and commitment, and community building. The organization responds to a serious human need with preserving dignity and inviting people to participate in the solution. Habitat's measurable impact shows that servant leadership can produce both compassion and effective results. The organization has helped millions of people improve their housing conditions while also creating meaningful service opportunities for volunteers, community partners, and donors. The most important lesson I take from Habitat is that servant leadership is not a passive or weak thing. It is disciplined, it is responsible, it is people-centered and mission-focused. Requires leaders to use their authority and resources in a way that make other people and the organization stronger. Those are principles I would seek to apply within my own leadership practice. Thank you.